Hi, I'm Susan. I'm from Worldpeacefull, and I'm going to read you something inspiring and uplifting. It's called Well-being. The wishing well is to wish you well. For my wishes are positive. My heart is kind and caring. And this is the well in which I throw my penny. As I watch compassion radiate out on concentric waves, each thought, word, and action makes a difference to every person you meet. For like the reflection in the well, we see ourselves in each other. For the ties say same but different. There is much conflict in the world. 100% is caused by misunderstanding. For few sit down to work out issues. Few seek to build a bridge rather than a moat. For the workplace of the future will be inclusive, interactive, consultative, productive and positive, where problems are solved and people are valued. For each person has a story that is mostly unheard. When we live in fear in life, we are unhappy. When we think in negative ways, we see others through a tinted prism. Yet each person does their best given their view of the world. Each person will never be understood as who they are, for we all think and see differently. But we can try to turn judgment into discernment, condemnation into forgiveness, seeking understanding in order to be understood, and give extra time solving problems. For each problem is the waiting room of opportunity disguised as conflict. As realizations are the stepping stones to personal growth and awareness. Perhaps challenges can be greeted as friends, negative feelings aired with openness rather than concealed, unhealed. Fears or angst explored over shadows to enlighten all perspectives. For it is the truth, dispensed fairly as the litmus test that offers consensus, transforming conflict into well-being. As well-being transforms ourselves positively through the challenges of conflict. So I wish you well. I thank you for your time and kindness, for I value each person I meet, and I see the greatness in every face. My work is in harmony. I work for peace, not money, and I am sincere in this task. For when we drop our masks, we may see the clown, not the circus, and feel good-humoured. Then we can laugh at life. We can see the best of potential and celebrate every moment as special, for life is short-lived. Why not live well-being with harmony and patience? As wellness is peace of mind, when each other's well-being comes first every time. So I send peace and happiness with that poem. Every conflict is a challenge to know who we really are. I truly feel no ill will towards any person. And I know I've been misunderstood many times, but that's because other people are thinking very differently from me. To dedicate your life to peace is to practice peace every day. And that can appear counter to the prevailing views of the world that believe that the world is a hostile place. It's not. Every conflict can be resolved where there's a willingness to resolve. If there's not, then we carry the pain longer. I always believe that there's great lessons to be learned in every conflict. There's always two sides. But I wonder if we can somehow find ways to meet in the middle with people. What I see these days is people concealing themselves. I see silence happening. People won't speak up and say what they think or feel. A lot of misinterpretation and misunderstanding flowers in that type of environment. And when I say flowering, I'm really talking about it expanding as more like shadows. It's like we cast shadows across the walls. And those walls are what divide us from one another. And they're never real. It may well be hard for some who have listened to some of my poetry to understand that our true nature really is love and peace. And I'm not speaking about romantic love. I'm speaking about the highest respect of each other. But there are many these days that are seeing the world through a very tinted prism, and that then becomes their prison. Because the world is not what they see. They see the world through themselves. As you think it, you see it in the world. But what I know, having been trained in mediation and having done mediations myself, is that when we give people a space to sit down and really discuss matters, give them both a space to express how they feel and what happened with respect, and then let the other in turn say what they need to say without blame, owning their part. The true power of mediation is really for both parties to take full responsibilities for their part, because no conflict can happen unless there are two people involved. Mediation is an excellent modality, really, to resolve conflict, because what often happens is people are working off assumptions that are untrue. All negativity at its ultimate core is untrue. People are believing things and projecting them onto other people. But once we discuss things more visibly, I think there's great opportunity to see that we can get it wrong. And that's the space where people can apologise to one another for their error. I think conflict resolution is one of the most wonderful ways of growing as a person, and it's highly recommended. So if you're engaged in a conflict right now with someone, what I would say to you is look at some videos on the internet on conflict resolution. Start to learn about the way conflict unfolds and how we often, if not always, project onto other people. But hidden within that conflict is most definitely an opportunity to find truth about yourself and about the other. And it's very gratifying when you see people realise that the other was not what they thought. And then you start to see them laughing and lightening up a bit in realisation that really they've just believed things that were untrue. In my world, everything can be forgiven. Everything. I have no enemies in this life. Only opportunities to speak my truth and send and radiate my love into the world. That might come in the form of friendship, helping someone, writing poetry, doing these videos, writing reports. Always good intention is behind it. And with that, I send you love and peace and truth and harmony. Thank you for listening.